step-by-step tutorial, you're going to learn all about ChatGPT plugins. I'll be covering exactly what ChatGPT plugins is, how to go about enabling it in your OpenAI account. I'll be sharing some of the plugins that are available in its plugin store, and ultimately prompting a plugin so that you can get better conversations and results from using ChatGPT. So let's get to it. Hi all, it's Aurelius. Welcome back to the channel. So OpenAI released ChatGPT plugins. However, at the time of this recording, it's not available to everyone and all users. Before we get started, I want to give you that little fine print there. And what you actually need is a ChatGPT Plus account. If you're not aware, ChatGPT Plus is currently $20 per month. And one of its benefits is priority access to new features, and ChatGPT plugins being one of them. Depending on when you're watching this video, it may actually be available to you right now, but in the meantime, at the time of this recording, it's only available for ChatGPT Plus members only. To give you a glimpse of what's currently available in its plugin store, you've got Expedia, you've got Instacart, Kayak, OpenTable, Wolfram, Zapier, which is a huge one. And some of the popular ones at the moment, we've got Ask Your PDF, Speak, and we've covered some of these. We've got some new ones as well, and all of them. And we're currently at 16 pages of apps. Before we continue, what exactly is the ChatGPT plugins feature? Well, as the name suggests, plugins, it's kind of like when you look at browser extensions and plugins, you've got your usual browser, such as Chrome, but you've got these external third-party apps that can be installed to enhance your use of Chrome. So in this case, we've got ChatGPT, where you're regularly conversating with its AI, but when you enable something like Expedia, the hotel booking system, then you enable that use by prompting ChatGPT to, let's say, book something, and then it'll use the API of Expedia and then giving you better, more accurate results as opposed to using what's in OpenAI's database. Ultimately, plugins allow ChatGPT to talk to other supported apps so that we can enable more creativity, more data, and more accurate results. But let's now run through how to actually activate ChatGPT plugins. All right, so after you've upgraded to ChatGPT Plus, or if you're already a member, simply head to your account, your profile that is. Simply click your profile, then go to settings. Then where you see beta features, simply click that. And now you'll see plugins, and this is what it looks like when it is enabled. Next up, what you're going to want to do is to make sure you start a new chat or conversation. Don't go into one of your previous conversations that you've had in ChatGPT. And now go to GPT-4. That's the version that you want to go to. If you go to 3.5, it's not enabled here. So you have to use GPT-4 for this. Go below and you'll see plugins. Click that once. And now you'll see no plugins enabled. This is where you can go ahead, click that once, and you can see plugin store. So we'll go ahead to the plugin store. By default, it will take you to the most popular plugins at the moment. So at the time of this recording, we've got apps such as Ask Your PDF, Speak, Expedia, Chat with PDF, VoxScript, Wolfram, and Kayak. The plugins they install entirely depends on your use of ChatGPT. If it's simply for leisure or lifestyle, you may want to install Expedia and Kayak, which makes sense if you want to look for your next destination trip and all that. The other tabs that may interest you include new apps that are available in the plugin store, and also all, if you want to go through all the plugins. At the moment, there's no search functionality, so it really is based on browsing and going through some of these apps to see what is available. Next up, let's go ahead and install a plugin so we can start using it. But before we go ahead, I want to share some disclaimers with you. The first is plugins are powered by third-party applications that are not controlled by OpenAI. So be sure you trust the plugin before installation. Because it's still early days, there's no real criteria or filter that is currently used. Any app that decides that they want to be available in the ChatGPT plugin store can, but of course, use only trusted kind of brands that are well known. The next is plugins connect ChatGPT to external apps. So if you enable a plugin, ChatGPT may send parts of your conversation and the country or state you're in to the plugin to enhance your conversation, giving you more accurate results. And then finally, ChatGPT automatically chooses when to use plugins during a conversation, depending on the plugins you've enabled. So this is not so much a disclaimer, but it does give you an idea of how ChatGPT executes an installed plugin. With those notes out of the way, let's go ahead and install a plugin. I'm going to choose this Spotify plugin called Playlist AI. Because many of you are quite familiar with Spotify, this is the plugin that I'll use in this demo. It'll allow you to create Spotify playlists from any prompt. I'll go ahead and click on install. Now you can see the Playlist AI enabled. This is located in the plugins dropdown, and you can always install more plugins by going to plugin store, and that'll take you back. Side note, to install any plugin, you need to make sure that you have two-factor authentication enabled in your ChatGPT or OpenAI account. So simply go to your account, go to settings, and where you see data controls, click that, and then you'll see here two-factor authentication. Make sure this is enabled. Otherwise, you can always install any plugin and then it'll prompt you anyway. The two-factor authentication is just an extra layer of security when you're installing these plugins. In addition, any plugins that you've installed won't work on GPT 3.5. I tested this out and it doesn't actually do what I wanted it to do. So make sure that you're in GPT 4, then in the plugins mode. All right, in this next step, I'm going to show you how to actually prompt the plugin that you just installed. To ensure that indeed you'll be executing the plugin that you've installed, you need to make sure that you're not in the default state. So let's go back to 3.5, then to GPT-4, and there's this default view, but you want to enable plugins mode. If you've installed multiple plugins, then it'll be listed here. But we've got Playlist AI. Now let's enter a prompt. We'll start really simple. I'm going to prompt it to create me a Spotify playlist based on chill electronic vibes. I like the sounds of future garage and lo-fi. You can specify and prompt anything you like based on, of course, your music taste. And once you're done, click on the send button or enter. And now it's saying, sure, I can help with that. Here are some songs that might fit your taste. Let it do its job to process. This may take some time. Sometimes it comes up with 30 odd soundtracks, but I'll let it decide. All right, and here's where the magic happens and where Playlist AI is executed. So it says, let's create a Spotify playlist with these songs. And now it's using Playlist AI. I'll drop down and you can see the code that it's entering and what it's actually trying to find and discover in Spotify. You don't obviously need to know this, but this is what's happening in the background. All right, it's done and it says, great news. Your Spotify playlist Chill Electronic Vibes has been created. You can access it here. And that'll take me to my Spotify account. Because I've actually enabled Playlist AI, I've already given authorization to allow access in OpenAI. Therefore, I don't need to authenticate anything and it's already created it. But if it's your first time installing this plugin or any other plugins, you may need to give authority to OpenAI. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we click on right here. And as you can see, it's created a playlist called Chill Electronic Vibes, and there's 22 songs, 1 hour, 36 minutes, and here are all the songs based on what I had described. I won't play them obviously, otherwise I might get a copyright claim, but you can see the tracks that it has added. So again, make sure you're in the plugins mode to enable or execute those plugins that you've installed. You'll see when I didn't enable the plugins or in the plugins mode, and I basically prompted it the exact same thing, you know, create me a Spotify playlist based on chill electronic vibes, and then it's suggesting all these tracks, which is what it had done before. But this time it says, remember the beauty of creating your own playlist is that you can adjust it to your liking, but it didn't actually create the playlist for me. We'll go back to the plugin store by hitting here and then go into plugin store. And while we're here, you can see installed. This is a new tab after you've installed your plugins. You can always go ahead and uninstall any of your plugins by simply clicking once and that'll remove it completely. This next plugin that I want to demonstrate to you is called Vizsla. I'm going to install it and I'll show you what it's all about. But in essence, what it does is it'll create short videos from public stock footage based on your specified topic. So we'll go ahead and install it and I'll show you how cool this plugin is. I'll head here just to make sure that it is indeed enabled. Now to execute the Vizsla plugin specifically, you can either go ahead and type in Vizsla and then colon, create a short video on the future of AI. You may want to be a bit more specific and say that I'll be posting as an Instagram reel. You might not need to add the Vizsla prompt, but it's giving that extra detail so you're a bit more direct. Essentially with this prompt, what I want ChatGPT and Vizsla to do is to talk to each other so that I can create a short video on the future of AI that I'll be posting as an Instagram reel specifically. What you'll see next is Vizsla is going to create a video based on these specifications and also size it so that it's in an Instagram format. I'll go ahead and press enter and you'll see what happens. Okay, so first of all, it's found that, yeah, Vizsla is the best plugin to use in this case. And what it's doing is giving the aspect ratio, right? It's prompting it to create a 9:16 format. That's the portrait size, right, for an Instagram reel. And it's showing publishing platform. We've got Instagram, and it's creating the video content as well as the video idea. So that's where ChatGPT comes in. It'll provide the information to Vizsla on what to actually create, as opposed to manually going to the Vizsla platform or website and then specifying what you want your video to do. It's going to save you a heap of time in that way. A few other notable things that ChatGPT had provided to Vizsla includes the video tone, informative, video type, educational. It's created a video title and description, and below all that you'll see video tags, which will provide Vizsla with the necessary tags to find appropriate stock videos to use in this short video. So can you see how powerful this is? Well, let's continue and I'll show you what it's done. And it says, great news, your video titled The Future of AI, A Glimpse into Tomorrow has been successfully created. Here's a brief description of your video. An insightful look into the future of AI, exploring the potential advancements and the implications that they might have on our society, from healthcare to transportation. Discover how AI could transform our world. And next it says you can view and download your video using this link. In fact, using this plugin, you don't actually need a Vizsla account to preview the video that it will process. And this took roughly a minute to produce. You can see the script and the time codes. On the right, you'll see the video preview.
AI, or artificial intelligence, has come a long way since its inception. From Siri and Alexa to self-driving cars, AI has made its presence felt in our daily lives. And the future of AI is even more exciting.
So there you go. That's what it had generated based on that single prompt that I added into ChatGPT. All right, and that's how you can get started with ChatGPT plugins. I'm honestly really excited about the future because as time goes by, there's only going to be more and more apps that'll be available in the plugin store. And that'll mean that your use of ChatGPT will be more advanced. In turn, that'll increase your productivity and streamline your workflow in your day-to-day. But other than that, hope this video was helpful. And if it was, by all means, give this video a thumbs up. In the meantime, do take care, and I'll leave up a couple of relevant videos for you to watch next right here.